Son, here's a lesson for you. And I learned this from my dad, and I'll pass it down to you. It's better to have a blue beard than to have blue balls.
Oh, God.
It's amazing. I mean, it's some of the proudest things of my life have been things that he's done, not things that I've done. Him, like he won Best New Drummer in Rhythm Magazine in 2015. To me, that was like bigger and better than any award I've ever won. And, seeing him open for me through the years with different bands, they've opened for Winery Dogs and Adrenaline Mob and Metal Allegiance. So every time it's such a feeling of pride, and he keeps getting better and better and better, and the band keeps growing and developing and progressing. I think the Dream Theater fans can appreciate a lot of the elements. I mean, a lot of their elements are also very heavy, very new and modern. It reminds me back in Dream Theater, like if we were touring with Megadeth, I would write a set list that was really heavy. If we were touring with Yes, I'd write a set list that's really prog. And they're kind of the same. I mean, they could put together a prog set list of long epic songs, or they could put together a set list of all the Lamb of God, Slipknot style stuff. So I love that diversity about them.
I don't know. He says I am, but I just keep playing. I just want to keep improving and doing different stuff. Because like what I did on this new album is stuff I didn't do on the first album. I couldn't do. So even for like the next album, there's stuff I have in mind that I want to like practice and like be able to do for the next album that I can't do currently. So I'm always trying to like improve and try new things.
Obviously, I'm more experienced and developed, but he's got technical abilities that are beyond what I could do. I mean, a lot of the blast beats and the super fast double bass stuff, I can't do that. I mean, I'm 50 years old now. I have limitations. He's young, he's 18, and he's growing up in a different age of the bar for drummers and musicians keeps rising and rising and rising, and he's part of this new crop of drumming technical abilities that are beyond what I could do. I mean, it's amazing. And his performance on phases is, if you listen to the drum parts, they're very, very creative. They're very busy. I mean, he's an incredibly busy drummer. And he's 18. Of course, I was like that when I was that age as well. But very creative. That's the thing that I love about his drumming on this latest album. You listen to the drum parts, and they're very musical, very interesting, and very creative.
I feel like you're tighter than I am live, so there's that thing. Like I always feel like, not really that I'm like sloppy, but I feel like you're always playing like at like the same level, like when you're playing like the heavy stuff, and I always feel like I'm kind of going in and out.
That's
so
experience. You know, I've done thousands and thousands of shows for decades now, and that comes with age. I think you'll get there.
I mean, it was a lot more difficult earlier on, like the first album, but now it's starting. I mean, it's not gone, but the whole like Mike Portnoy's son, Max Portnoy's band Next to None, that's still like there. Although now it's kind of more just Max Portnoy's band Next to None, where it should just be Next to None, and it shouldn't say that. But I mean, it's like annoying, but it's not an awful thing. It's not bad, but yeah.
Well, I mean, there's pros and cons to that. Obviously, his name is going to get his foot in the door and get people's attention to listen. But I can imagine it's probably annoying for them and for Max. But hopefully that will with time they'll shake that and they'll be able to stand on their own. I mean, I think musically they already do, but you know, that's inevitable. That's one of the things that's inevitably going to come when you're the son of somebody that's known. So I think he's handling it well.
Well, for us, we really knew how we wanted the album to turn out, and we just figured it would be best to stick to just the four of us when producing this one, because we felt like if we got someone else, they could have changed it, because it kind of goes from like some songs are just kind of straightforward. I shouldn't say straightforward, but they're just like real metal songs, and some of the songs are just super prog songs, and we felt like someone else could have changed that and gotten rid of one of the two, where we wanted to be able to do both. And even though like those songs still have like elements from both sides, it was something we wanted to do like and keep true to it. And you know, if it was just the four of us, we can definitely get that idea across. So it was definitely best for us to just stick to the four of us. And I mean, I'm not saying like my dad would have changed it. I'm just saying if we got a producer, like whether like you would have come in, I don't think you would have changed it, but it was also just we had like ideas and visions that we wanted to stick to.
I get it. I totally get it. If we could have self-produced images and words, we would have. But we were, you know, we didn't have that kind of leverage. Luckily, he's got a little leverage, you know. So I think when I produced their first album, I wasn't shaping the songs. I was just kind of showing them how you make an album, and the studio experience, and how to divide your time and be productive, show them the way around the studio and overdubbing. You know, that was my role with the first album. With the second album, they already know how to do that. Thomas is a great engineer. He knows how to get around the Pro Tools in the studio. Max has got great ideas. They know what they want. They don't need a producer. When you're making this kind of music, you don't need a producer. If you're making pop albums or trying to write hit singles, then yeah. But if you're writing 20-minute prog epics, as long as you know how to make it sound good and you have a good mixer, that's all you need.
Compared to the first album, it's a lot heavier, and I would even say it's even more progressive too. Like it's just kind of more of everything we did in the first album. And yeah, I like it a lot better actually. Like I guess that kind of happens to everyone though. They like whatever's the newest stuff is. But yeah, it's a lot heavier. I mean, we did a lot of different stuff too. Like there's a lot of low tunings and stuff on the songs, and a lot more shredding and odd time signatures and screams and all that stuff. So there's a lot more of the heavier stuff in it, because that's kind of what we were feeling and wanting to do with this album. But we also didn't want to give up all the progressive stuff and all the technicality, like, in order to do all the heavy stuff. So we really tried to combine both of them and make this album like what it is.
Yeah, well, he's a little quieter and shyer than I am. I was always very extroverted and loud and always, you know. So he's a little quieter and shyer than me, but he's definitely as animated as me on stage, and he's got that youthful energy that I don't have anymore. But yeah, he's an amazing performer. I love watching him play. Not only is he a great player, but he's a great performer, and to me, that's an important aspect of you know, of a drummer. But yeah, I mean, everything about him reminds me. He's totally mini-me. He just needs the blue beard, but that'll come in a couple years.
I have one hair I can dye. I have one right here.
Well, I think they just need to get a couple good support slots. Haken has been great and took them out here in Europe earlier this year. I would love to see them go out with bands that are heavier. You know, they've done a lot of tours with prog bands, you know, Shadow Fortress and my bands and Haken. I would love to see them get hooked up with bands that are in the vein of Slipknot or Korn or periphery or between the buried and me. So if any of you guys are out there, take my boys out. I think they would slay, in front of one of those type of audiences. I think people would be blown away. So that's my personal hopes for them, to get out there and tour, preferably some good support slots in front of the right audience, and that's all they need, and they'll be on their way.
One more question. Your dad, he plays in, what was it, 78 bands?
Well, since this interview began, it's up to 79, actually. I joined a new band while Max was talking.
So, my question for you, Max, is if you would want to see your dad to play in one more band, this extra project, what should he do?
Well, I know like your metal thing is like Metal Legions, and that's all like thrash stuff. So you should do one that's like modern metal, because that would be cool. So
What band could it be?
I don't know.
If I could join an existing band.
I don't know, because I don't want to see any of those drummers stop.
Right.
So it's hard.
He's seen me play with Avenged Sevenfold. He's seen me play with Twisted Sister. He's
Yeah.
seen me play with Stone Sour.
Well, I didn't get to see that,
yeah.
but I've seen video of it. So
Yeah, he's seen it,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to play with any more bands. I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to let him join my 78 bands so I can go sit by the pool for the next 20 years.